Alrighty, hi everyone. Let me adjust my mic here. All right, so we are going to be using a new deck. Let me adjust my camera. Sorry, it's a little low from some recordings that I did earlier in the day. We're going to be using the Oracle of Pluto. It's kind of a shadow work, shadow puppet kind of deck. It's really fun. I have an unboxing coming through for both of these. And then for the main readings, I'm going to be using the Eldritch Overload deck. I'm super excited about that. I hope you guys are having a good week. Yes, still, I am pulling out the Oracle of Pluto. We'll see how it goes. Welcome everybody to the queue. Thank you for joining. Hey Sandy, how are you doing? All right, I am going to get started with the community read. Let me turn this music down a little bit. There we go. Okay, let me get this deck all shuffled. So I did a pairing in my flip through video, which I just recorded. I really liked it. So we're going to see how it goes throughout the night. If you would like a more in-depth reading to include some Oracle or maybe just expand on tarot, you can use the tip links in my description box, or you can follow either of these links. The cat theme? Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I actually usually design my own themes, but I was like, I don't know. I couldn't find some inspo to do it myself, so I actually bought these themes on sale. So yeah, this is the first theme I actually bought. All right, let's see what our community read is. Let's get started with the first card. We have the lizard. I'm going to move these out of the way. Oh yeah, Sil is our resident astrology guru, so listen to her when it comes to astrology. Let's see. I wish these cards were in like alphabetical order. That would be so much easier. But let's see what the lizard has for us, guys. All right, so the lizard is about repeating a cycle and unlearn lessons. And that kind of makes a lot of sense because when you think of a lizard, or maybe when I think of a lizard, I think of like, you know, how like a lizard can regrow its tail. So there's this air of regeneration and basically continuing cycles, whether that is good or bad. In this case, I feel like if you're not quite learning the lesson, this is why you are in the cycle that you are in right now. So if you feel like you have been on this hamster wheel, maybe that's because you haven't quite learned the lesson you need to get off of it yet. The whole idea is about regrowing or growth. So let's see what we have for the next card. Let's see. Another card for the community. We have, hermit crab. All right. To me, hermit crabs are about like being stuck in your shell sometimes. Okay, let's see here. What does the guidebook say in regard to the hermit crab? So the hermit crab is necessary withdrawal, introspection, exploration of the inner landscape and growth. So we kind of were touching on the idea of rebirth, but here we're on that like cycle where we can't quite get out of it. So I feel like with the hermit crab, this is really honing in on the growth part of things, and where you kind of have to take that moment to sit and think about what it is you need in order to grow, in order to get out of those endless cycles that you're in. And it's funny because it's not quite like the hermit card where you're just kind of sitting and doing nothing. This is still about constant movement, trying things, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and evaluating that as you go along. And let's go ahead and do one more card. I usually do 3 for the community, so let's go ahead, do a third one. Third card for the community here. All right, we have the crab. So that's very interesting. So we have a lot of sea creatures here. A lot of creatures that can regenerate, regrow. Hermit crabs kind of live in a shell, outgrow it, and move to a different shell. The crabs kind of molt. I don't think it's called molting when crustaceans do this, but you know what I mean. Where they where they outgrow their shell and they go to a new one, whatever that's called for crabs. So the crab is self-protection, boundaries, teaching others how to treat you. So as you go through this, I feel like the lesson that we've been kind of alluding to, sorry guys, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see a little better. The lesson that we are alluding to out of this whole thing here is about learning how to express and set boundaries. So sometimes that can be difficult. I feel like I'm going through that this week and I'm not looking forward to it myself. But it's where you've gone through this like reflection stage, right? So if you've been in this cycle with someone and you're in the cycle because you're not setting those boundaries, and then you go through and you realize like, okay, what do I need to do to actually grow, and how do I evolve enough to set those boundaries? This card is saying, yeah, you absolutely have to do that. This is about showing people how you want to be treated, and more or less demanding that sort of respect and just overall setting those boundaries. And I like that because the idea of the crab and the hermit crab kind of have the same idea, in the sense like when you think of those creatures, just you kind of have that dwelling and you outgrow it and you realize like, what will the next boundary be? So sometimes we outgrow the boundaries that we've set, and it's okay to reset boundaries. There's nothing wrong with that. Aw, you used to find hermit crabs and make them fight? It was like a fight club for hermit crabs? I don't think I've ever seen a hermit crab in the wild, actually. Um, so yeah, hermit crabs do that, but actually, like, crabs and lobsters do that too. Cat, I wish I could outgrow carbs. All right, I'm gonna get the deck all shuffled. So we have in the queue right now, we have Whimsically, No, Luke, Cat Goddess, Bobby Lee, Ari, Fatima, and Sherry. So first up is Whimsically. Yeah, I don't know if it's, I think it's called molting, or is that only birds? I think it's still molting. I don't know. I'm not a biologist, y'all. I watch a lot of Animal Planet, but I don't quite remember all the quite correct verbiage of that. So you guys are getting a sneak peek of this deck before I actually upload the flip through. So you'll have to let me know how you like it. It's very cyberpunk and vibrant, and it shuffles beautifully. Actually, I really love the shuffle ability of this deck. It smells good too. All right, one sec, guys. Okay, you think I'm right in that, Luke? Okay, I'll go with that. All right, let's call for Whimsically, then I will move on. Oh, and guys, if you miss your turn, you will have to rejoin the queue. You can rejoin as long as it's open, but if I close my queue, then I'm sorry, you've missed out. I don't like that one, Luke. It's not like horrible or anything, but not my jam. All right. No, you are up next. Get started with you. Go ahead and put your question in the chat. Yeah, whimsically rejoin for me. I'm gonna go with no and make sure you guys are paying attention. Okay, sure. We'll see what your guides have for you now. All right. And last one. All right. So we have the, what is this? Ace of Swords, the Three of Potions, which is cups in this deck, and then the King of Wands, I think. Yeah, King of Wands. It's hard to read these hollow like text, but it's okay. We'll get through it. So with the let me look at this for a second. So Ace of Swords, Three of Cups, and the King of Wands. I'll just go in order, I feel like. So I think that your guides are kind of telling you that you are on the right path. Whether you feel that way right now or not, you are doing all of the right things. The Ace of Swords is really about saying like you are doing things right. It's about finding clarity. So even though you might not feel like it right now, I think there's going to be a moment of clarity where things start to make a lot more sense going forward. Things start to come together, and I think at the heart of it, it's really having to do with how you are engaging with your friends and your community and whatever that unit is for you, whatever you want to call that. So the Three of Cups is the it's the card about celebrating your friendships, celebrating your relationships, celebrating your family. There's both of these cards have like an air of success and happiness to them. So this one is more internal, with the swords being more of that mental side of things. This one is more of the emotional side of things. So I think just saying that here you start to see a little more clarity in the sense that you realize that things are actually pretty good in terms of the emotional connections that you have with people. And then here we have the King of Wands. I feel like this is saying that, you know, once you kind of step into that moment of, you know, that where your mind starts to relax, you start to understand and see things for what they are, you can enter this King of Wands era here where you start to see the true vision of the things that you want, the true vision of like, through inspiration, you start to find moments of being very creative, but then also feeling like you can put a solid step forward, um, where you feel like you're in charge of your own life, for example. So like the kings tend to be the leaders, they tend to be the visionaries, and the King of Wands specifically is really full, his vision is about that creativity, the passions of stuff, the fiery energy that you get from the wand. So you kind of have a little bit of everything. We have that air here, which is more of the mental aspect. We have the cups here, which is more of the emotional. healing aspect, and then we have the wands, which is that passionate creativity that we get here. And um, I like overall though that the King of Wands tends to be a really friendly king. So I feel like this meshes very well with the Three of Cups. And then with kings kind of emanate that air energy that you get from the sword. So everything kind of comes full circle here, where you start to feel like, okay, as the king, you can tap into that clarity, you tap into that wisdom, and everything just starts to make sense. Yeah, totally girl boss moment. I like that. The only thing not represented here, you don't have any majors. I mean, it's only a 3 card spread, so like, what are you gonna get, right? But you don't have any majors, you don't have any pentacles, so just keep that in mind. It's always something to expand upon, especially when I do general readings with only 3 cards. Just keep in mind that there can be more lurking in the background, but overall, this is a really great energy that you have from your guides. I think that you have some cool things that are opening up to you. Yeah, Sandy, make sure you use !join. Bronwyn, I am still open. All right, Luke, you're up next. You can ask something different than what your spirit guides want you to know, by the way, or your weekly check-in with your guides. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that makes sense. And I like to be a little different and kind of, not fall into the cliche wave of YouTube readers. All right, Luke, let's see. I'm going to ask advice on where you need to improve in your life. Okay. So, not quite general, but just on that subject. Let's see, second card here. And last card. Here we go. So we have the Tower, I think this is a Knight of Swords, and the 7 of Wands. 8 of Wands, sorry. Cannot read this hollow on live streams. These are invisible to me with my lights overhead. So, Luke, you have again the Tower, the Knight of Swords, and then the 8 of Wands. I think that you need to be willing to break down some walls here, and you need to be willing to make changes in your life. So I'll start in the middle. I kind of already hinted at these two, but I'm going to start in the middle and like work my way out. So with the Knight of Swords, I think that, there's a little bit of the Knight of Swords can be a really hasty knight sometimes. But then there's this. So okay, I'm sorry, I'm waffling a bit. So the Knight of Swords can sometimes fall into the trap of having a thought and then just wanting to do it. So every thought is like, okay, I have this idea and now I'm going to do it. But the Knight of Swords can also have the really great trait of being very thoughtful, where the opposite happens, where they don't fall into the trap of sometimes the Knight of Pentacles, where you become a little stagnant. So you need to find that balance, Luke, I feel like, where instead of overthinking or underthinking, you come up with some like actionable ideas that you can set in place so you can move towards them. The 8 of Wands for me is like saying, right now, you are more in that not necessarily impulsive phase in terms of actions, but more of like impulsively thinking through these different ideas, and you don't give it time to actually take root. Um, and instead it ends up turning into like burnout almost. So I think what needs to happen is you almost need like a reset where you start from the base, like just go back, put everything that you have been doing aside with this tower card, and just start from scratch. Build, pull down those walls, pull down everything that you have kind of been working towards, and decide, okay, maybe it's not fun, and maybe it's not like enjoyable, but you're going to just start from the basics. You're going to start from that foundation and build yourself back up, and then go through this phase in a more thoughtful process. So embody more of the thoughtful side of the Knight of Swords. So knights in general embody that fiery energy, and then the swords is that mental energy. So sometimes, the actions and the thoughts end up fueling each other, over fueling each other, and it just becomes endless ambition that is not directed anywhere. So I think this is just kind of like uh, saying, hey, it's okay to reset. It's okay to start back at the basics, go back to the ground and work yourself back up. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we need that to reorient ourselves. One of the things that I really like about this 8 of wands is that it's like saying all arrows are pointing forward. You just have to make sure you're directing it in the right way, and you're directing it with control. And maybe it wasn't necessarily the wrong one. I don't like to say, especially we'd have to dive in way deeper to say whether something was quite right or wrong. Sometimes it's just not the right decision at the right time. And if you reset and start over and do it again, it might work out better. Sometimes you have to learn that lesson. Oh, it's interesting because you don't have any cups here, so it could very well be talking about that. I don't think so though. So I don't do this often, but I will check the bottom of the deck on a live stream. Um, you have the Ace of Coins, so I think this is more so in reference to the physical world around you in terms of like your finances, your family, your health, stuff like that. But if you're leaning more towards love, that could be also some underlying thing that you need to check back in on too. So I think that it could be multifaceted. Um, in which case, pick a topic and focus on that. Try not to do everything all at once. Um, Yeah, no, if you would like to rejoin, you can at the end. Cat Goddess, you are up next. Mm, what do you mean? Yeah, Luke, I definitely recommend you do some reassessing and why don't you ask a different question, Cat Goddess? Looking like it almost wants to rain. I don't think it's supposed to. Let me see. You know, Excuse me. Oh, did it? We had a lot of rain earlier in the week. It's not it's not too bad. It's actually been a little cooler. I thought we were gonna get rain yesterday, but it was just really overcasty. Okay, what positive changes can you expect soon in the near future? Let's see what positive changes you can expect. Last one. Okay, we have the Four of Cups, the what the heck is this? Okay. Eight of Swords, and then the Five of Swords. So, mm, I think so. This deck is I haven't shuffled in reversals yet. So I think that these are probably more like this. Just showing the visuals of everything. Actually, no, I'll leave this one upright. That one feels kind of in between. All right. So I'll start in the middle, work my way out. The Eight of Swords suggests that maybe you went through a really high anxiety period. And it really like shut you off from things, probably emotionally. But I feel like you're starting to come out of that. The Eight of Swords is generally about feeling like you're closing yourself off, not necessarily that there are external forces forcing that. It's just maybe your response to those emotional forces too. So, oh, you've been seeing a lot of spiders. Oh, gross. I hate spiders. But I think that this is saying you're finally starting to come out of this phase where you're feeling like you're free from these stressors, free from these fears and anxieties, and a lot of that I think is going to show up in terms of how you respond to things emotionally and how they affect you mentally. So on the flip side, here we have the Four of Cups, and perhaps while you were in this phase, you felt like you might have missed out on a few opportunities. Um, and you're a little disappointed in that. But the Four of Cups is saying, like, even though you've missed out on those opportunities, this is a moment where you can like pause and contemplate what it is that you need going forward. So I like this card, and any Four of Cups really. You see like this potion, I guess, being offered to her, and she doesn't notice it. She doesn't even pay it any mind. So, and then she has these other things ahead of her. So I think in the past you might have had these options that were available to you, and because of your mental state, you just couldn't accept them at the time. But I think going forward with the Five of Swords, I think you're starting to see that perspective change. You start to um, maybe fight for the things that you weren't able to fight for previously. You kind of have that confidence and you're willing to put up that fight now, or that's just going to be something that's coming to you soon. I feel like this is like near future, if not now. So, I will say though that with the Five of Swords, even though you have that change in perception, perspective, there we go. Um, there's still going to be a little conflict going forward. I think just now you're in that space where you can finally face it, and and if you can start to face it, that means that eventually you can overcome it. That and that's like the first step. This is the first step here where I feel like you're finally aware of the things around you, and you're aware that you need to get past them, and now you're going to actually put that into action and move forward. Yeah, spiders are yeah. Okay, then yeah. So if that sounds exactly like what I was thinking. Whatever those obstacles are, you're finally going to be in a mental space to be able to overcome them, to face them. And while they will be challenging, you will actually at least be facing them now. All right, Bobby Lee, you are up next. Let me read who all is in the queue. So Bobby Lee is up now, followed by Ari, Fatima, Sherry, Whimsically, Bronwyn. No has rejoined, and then P. Yeah, kinda. It does sound a little Spider-Man-ish. Welcome to the QP, by the way. All right. Moving on. Ari, you are up next. Let me know, guys, how you're liking this deck. I'm really digging it. I kind of up the vibrancy of my cameras as well, so I feel like the colors really pop. Oh, let me show you the error. Not the error. I can't show you the errors because I added the stickers, but um. All right, moving on. Fatima, you are up next. Add your question. So, this is what I was talking about. So I had to add these little like stickers here over the book because these keywords were wrong. So I was mentioning in my Discord how I was a little annoyed because like the book that came with it is like awesome. It's really nice. Don't get me wrong. It was $39 and it had like misprints in it. And I just didn't like that. So you can see how like a regular page looks. And then they sent like correction stickers, which is what was on this previous page. Which isn't, it is a very large book. I mean, it's not terribly large. It's like, I'm very zoomed in right now. All right. Let's see. Feelings of care towards Fatima. I don't think they are, Luke, because this must be leftovers from the Kickstarter. I checked the videos of the people that got the Kickstarters and it had the same errors. So I thought maybe this was like a second print error, but apparently not. So we have the Nine of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and then the Knight of Coins. Um, mm, I would say that this person doesn't. Thank you for joining. I don't think that this person quite has feelings for you or yet. I feel like they are keeping their options open. So the Seven of Cups is about having different options available to you, not really knowing what's right and what's wrong. So I think they are still in this sort of pre-decisional phase, I'll call it. The Nine of Cups suggests that they are hoping to find the right person for them, but they just haven't done so yet. And then the Knight of Coins is it's really saying to me they're not going to make any decision anytime soon. They're not a rational person. They're not going to just dive into things. The Knight of Coins likes to really get their ducks in a row, decide what it is that they want and need, and then slowly move towards it. So if you're hoping that this person makes decisions, soon, or if you're hoping that they like you sooner rather than later, I don't feel like that's going to happen. This person is really someone who craves stability, practicality, all of the like they're really someone who's going to do their due diligence when trying to find someone um to date, I guess I'll call it, or to connect with emotionally. So I don't think this person has really finalized their feelings. If you guys are friends, I recommend maybe, you know, spending more time together, maybe being a little more direct, something like that. But I would say that, with the Knight of Coins here, err on the side of like practicality. Don't try to lean into like things emotionally. I think they would respond better to things that are more stable, things that are more logical, things that are more tangible. So, yeah, still figuring things out. Okay. Oh, they're new to you? Okay. That makes a lot of sense then. So I feel like overall with the Nine of Cups, though, happy person, looking for relationships, but hasn't figured things out yet. Yeah, no, what really kind of grinds my gears about it is that I wish they had just at least put it in the description because I would have been cool about it being in the description. But I don't know. I'm just being a little butthurt about it. Let's see what's going to be going on in the next few months, Sherry. Just a caveat, future readings are nebulous. The future is not set in stone. It's very much decided upon the actions we take. So keep that in mind as we go. Ooh, this is pretty card. Okay, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Page of Swords, and then we have the Six of Wands. I'm getting a lot of swords. I feel like the community is like very swords heavy today. So I think over the next 2 months, you will finally find that time to really just rest and take time for yourself, to kind of reset and rejuvenate, if you haven't really gotten to do that yet. The Four of Swords is the card of being able to rest, kind of just ease your mind. You can start to focus on recovering, especially if you've come out of a very stressful period. And then the Page of Swords is cool because this is where I think after this moment, this period of rest, you can finally step back into this page era where the pages are studious, they're very eager to learn new things. The Page of Swords specifically is very eager to learn and grow mentally. They have this intelligence about them and this curiosity, and they have this desire to learn more. So, um, I don't know if this means that you're going to be going to like school, or if you're starting school, something like that, or if you're just going to be taking lessons of some sort. But I feel like there's going to be a really fun learning phase for you, whether that just be, it could be something, maybe you're learning a new hobby as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be school. With this Six of Wands, or with the wands in general, but specifically with the Six of Wands, I feel like this is saying that, you've taken this period to relax. You're starting to enter this phase where you feel like you can finally learn again and open your mind to new things. And then with the Six of Wands, this is where it's saying you can finally start to stand out and stand in your own your own conviction. Is that the word I'm looking for? But the Six of Wands has this air of like victories, kind of like standing above the rest kind of thing, overcoming challenges and reaping the rewards of that growth there. And then there's just this element of empowerment that you get with the Six of Wands. So I think that overall, if I were to sum this all up, you're going to be entering this phase where you can finally relax a little bit, kick back, learn some new things, and really start to maybe even learn things that will help make you feel empowered to go into the next phase of, whatever that might be. I'll just say, as we continue to move forward, I'll put it that way. But here we have a lot of that air energy, a lot of that mental side of things, finding that mental clarity, relaxing, opening your mind up. And then over here we have the wands. This is where we tap into that creativity, finding inspiration in things. So you have a lot of active energy, um, a lot of movement that's going on. So I think you're going to have an active 2 months, or I would say over the next 2 months, you're going to have an active period, is probably the way that I would put it. All right. Whimsically, you are up next again. Sab, you need to use exclamation point join. So swap the exclamation point. Um, you're welcome, Sherry. Oh, guys, don't forget to like this video if you're enjoying the readings, enjoying listening to me ramble about stuff. Um, I appreciate it, and it helps with the algorithm. And because this is a subscribers only event, I know you're already subscribed. Okay, whimsically, let's see what blessings are coming your way. Okay. We have the Two of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and then is this a nine? Yeah, I think it's a nine. Nine of Coins. Two coins, King of Swords, Nine of Coins. I think that you have some, I guess I will call it some good decisions about some financial security coming your way. So, overall, I will say that you're going to feel like you're entering a phase where you feel um, more in tune, more balanced. You're finding that stability when it comes to the financial side of things. I don't always read Pentacles as finances, but it feels very much so like that, especially with the king here. Um, so with this too, I think this is where you're starting to find the beginning phases of finding that stability. And then you enter this king phase. The king of swords, excuse me, this is the air on air energy. A lot of that really mental side of things. So I think you're going to start to realize the kings are very wise. They kind of have a really strong vision of the future, and the king of swords especially is very cerebral in all of the steps that they take. So I feel like you're going to make some really good decisions about whatever you need in regards to your personal finances. um I think overall, you'll start to feel like you are thinking a little more clearly, and a lot of things are going to start to make sense. And overall, the Kings are in very much control of their world around them. So the Nine of Coins is about living in luxury. And I don't want you to think that I'm saying, like, oh, you're going to like hit the lottery and win big. I just mean that you start to find that stability, you start to make the right decisions, and then you start to feel comfortable in the finances that you have around you. So, luxury is different for everyone. This is just saying that you're comfortable. You can finally kick back and relax and bask in the empire, I guess, that you've built around you. Everybody's empire is a little different, right? So, with that Nine of Pentacles, this is saying you're starting to feel like you can be independent. You're not so reliant on whatever it is you were reliant on while you're building up this path here, and you can stand in those that independence because you're feeling prosperous, you're feeling successful, and you can finally enjoy the rewards of all of the hard work that you've been putting in. So I feel like overall the main blessing is that is feeling like you can finally relax, kick back, and kind of reap the rewards of that hard work. But at the core of things, I think that you are starting to see the vision of your empire that you're trying to create around you. I really like like this King of Swords too. I like these cards. I like this Nine of Pentacles. She seems like a badass. All right, Bronwyn, you're up next. Let me read who I have in the queue. I have No, I have P, Kushi, Ari, Kate, Sab, and then Meza. Ooh, well, good luck. Yeah, Kushi, that's probably fine. Whimsically, good luck. You're welcome. Hmm. Oh, again, guys, don't forget to like this video. There's 8 of you guys in the just watching. Only 6 likes. Let's get that up. All right, sounds good. I am gonna move on though to no. No, go ahead and put your question in the chat. And Kushi, if you're not back in time, it's fine. I At least you let me know ahead of time. I know last week YouTube was lagging, but I turned my latency down, so I feel like it should be better, at least from my end. Okay, sounds good. Awesome. Just checking. Oh, cool. Let's see. I'm assuming his name is Matt and not Math. We can see. Let's see what's going on. All right, next card. There we go. All right, one more card. Um, Obviously, I'm not going to say that you're crazy or anything, but we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Six of Cups, and then we have the World. So I think sometimes people just pop into our minds and they pop into our minds. Like the Six of Cups is really the card of nostalgia, but then we have here the Ten of Swords, which is like really trying to end cycles. So I wonder if this is just saying like this is kind of like the last thought before you end this mat cycle. The Ten of Swords is saying kind of like, you're even though you might not be ending this cycle on a good note, meaning like you guys don't talk anymore, blah blah blah. There's this air of trying to find peace, and in doing so you just kind of think back on people. And the Six of Cups, um the Six of Cups is truly just like thinking back on those memories, just reminiscing a little bit. But I don't see this as anything crazy in regards to why it's popping up into your head. I think it's just like the logical progress of closing the mat cycle. Um, and then we have the World card, which follows suit. It kind of mirrors the Ten of Swords, but it's more permanent. I feel like the World card is the end of the major arcana. This is the end of the cycle. This is the end of the major cycle, and it's like saying, yeah, we're finding completion. We're finding that closure, putting an end to old things, and opening yourself up to stepping forward into something new. I don't think you're delusional at all. I think it's just a natural progression that humans go through. I guess when they are working on moving on. It's kind of like you're putting certain thoughts behind you. You just have to make sure that that's what you're actually doing, and you're not wallowing or lingering um, on this person. So you have to be of the mindset that's you're like, okay, I'm thinking about this person, but it's because they're in my past, thinking about how, whatever lessons learned or whatever um good that you can take with you going to the future, whatever bad you can leave in the past, that kind of thing. What did you grow from out of that? Those kind of questions. So I think that's what this period is really opening you up to, especially with that Ten of Swords and then the World. They kind of like, I won't say they mirror each other in a way, but in this reading they kind of do. So here this is like saying, okay, you're closing the cycle of like bad things and being able to put that behind you, but then you take the growth and the good things and you can move forward and use it for the rest of your life. But no, I won't say that you're crazy. I won't say that you are delusional or anything like that. So you say people like to send their energy to you. Yeah, and that could be it too. Maybe it's just, part of that process, but I will say that you still have to make a conscious effort to move forward from it. So while this might be on your mind, you have to decide that you are going to use that those thoughts, those memories, whatever, to close that cycle and continue on. Otherwise, you could be like in this cycle of I don't want to say toxicity. It's a little strong, but you know what I mean. Like how you're like, you can say I'm delusional, it's okay. All right, Pete, you are up next. Because you're very honest, and I it does tickle me a little bit that you're at least self-aware. But I don't think you're delusional. You're welcome. Kushi, you did not. Good timing. Oh, I'm almost out of water. Oh, Luna, hi. Neil. All right, Luna's joining us, which means that I should probably close my queue. So I'm going to close my queue. Everybody who's in it is in. But if you miss your turn from here on out, you are unfortunately not able to rejoin. All right, Kushi, go ahead and add your question. Luna is our time clock from now on. She comes in at almost exactly an hour every single time. She's like, you've been on long enough. She's my supervisor at home. Yeah, you are. Good girl. Yes, she definitely knows the rules. Actually, she sets the rules, so yep. Sorry, Lilith. My queue is closed for the night. I'll be back next Thursday. Oh, goodness. All right, Kushi, go ahead and put your question. There we go. Yes, I did call your name. Aw. Cat snuggle time. Yeah, snuggle time. Luna's very demanding when it comes to like pets. When it's time to pet her, I can't be doing anything else. Okay, while we wait for Kushi to put her question in the chat, Ari, you will be next, followed by Kate, then Sab, and then finishing up with Meta. All right, let's see if you should go out with Jay for the cafe meeting. Okay, so um, I only asked your first question, um, just because I don't really do timing. If it came up, then it came up, but we have the Knight of Coins, we have the Nine of Swords, and then we have Judgment. So this feels more like this. So Nine of Swords feels more reversed. But ultimately, I would say, yeah, you should definitely go. Um, you should go meet up with Jay for sure. The Knight of Coins, though, suggests that you should be a little maybe thoughtful about when you do it. You don't necessarily have to rush into it by Monday or on Monday or however you're looking at it. Uh, the Knight of Coins is more slow and deliberate in their movements than some of the other knights. So I think that in that thought process, maybe Monday is not the best time, but it's probably not the worst time either. It's kind of neutral. We have the Nine of Swords in reverse. I think that the Nine of Swords in reverse is really like the card that in the past you might have had some anxieties over this, but you're really starting to just release that and look to the future, which is really that what's opening you up to moving forward, making these decisions and deciding that you want to go out and meet this person, and just know that it's fine to do so. Just try not to stress about it so much. With the Judgment card, I this kind of also suggests to me like maybe Monday's not quite the right day. I don't know why. I don't think it's like good or bad. These feel somewhat neutral, but Judgment is Judgment is like that card where you kind of have like this aha moment where you that end path starts to become very clear, like the end goal becomes very clear. And I think that's why I'm kind of leaning against Monday, is because that probably won't happen just over the weekend, especially with this Knight of Pentacles, where it's like telling you to keep it nice and slow. But it could be something like maybe over the next week you start to plan this out, and set deliberate directions in that sense. Like you have more time to prep and more time to relax, that kind of thing, before you go into the meeting. But I think overall, yeah, totally go out with Jay, enjoy yourself. Try not to stress about it so much, and just enjoy the journey. I like this judgment card. It says keep humans pure. It's I don't know why I love that so much. And then it says cybernet is a sin. Oh gosh, I really love that judgment card. Yeah, you're totally welcome. Thank you, Sav. I really like them too. It's the Eldritch Overload Tarot, if you're curious. Okay, Ari, you are up next. Lana. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear her little muse, guys, but it's so cute. Mm. I mean, who doesn't love Luna? All right, let's see. All right, let's see why he's acting that way. Let's see why Alex is acting that way, or going to act that way, rather. Ugh, don't lick me. That's so gross. Luna. All right, last card. Here we go. So we have the Two of Wands, we have the Six of Swords, and then we have the what is this? Three of Wands? Yes, Three of Wands. Um, so I don't think they're gonna act that way out of any like malice or anything. I think that if you guys are coworkers, I think really it's a matter of trying to make sure the right boundaries are being set and trying to um gauge things before they get out of control, I guess, or they kind of pick up a momentum of their own is probably a good way to put it. So you have the Six of Swords here in the middle, and I think that this makes more sense that it's probably reversed because I don't think they're moving on from anything. I think actually they are trying to keep things the way they are. And that's because, you guys work together. So he's trying to be thoughtful about all of this. And maybe it's also a little awkward when he thinks about it. So the twos in general are about duality, right? So there's kind of like a little bit of tug of war happening. But the Two of Wands in general is about, looking forward. So he's really trying to be very I don't want to say practical, but he's trying to look ahead. Practical feels a little too pentacles-y, but there is still that practicality here with the twos in general. So he's trying to look forward and, really see, like, if you guys were to date, what would happen at work, what would happen between you guys. So that's where all of this thoughtfulness is coming from. And then we have the three of wands, and I feel like, he's just saying that it's best to just not deal with it because there are other people that he can date. So it's just easier, I feel, from his perspective, that just pretend like nothing happened, kind of keep the status quo because he doesn't want things in the future to get complicated. And there are so many other fish in the sea for him. He can just why rock the boat, the metaphorical boat. So yeah, I think that, he's kind of expanding his horizons outside of work. That was never his intent. And I think that ultimately he's just nervous about it, as one should be. Well, from his perspective, I don't think that I will say in this economy, not many things are worth the risk of losing your job. So, yeah, I think that that is probably the most he's trying to just do the right thing for himself. And who knows, maybe you guys aren't coworkers in the future, things could be different, but I don't ultimately I will say that I don't think that this has necessarily anything to do with you personally. It just has everything to do with the fact that you guys work together. Feels weird and it doesn't want to engage in that. Well, some jobs are weird. Like they don't like couples to work together and stuff, and like I don't know. It depends on the job. Kate, go ahead, put your question in the chat. You're welcome, Ari. Her name is Miracle spelled with a Y. Oh, okay, let's see if it's a good idea to be friends with her. I don't know why it wouldn't be. You guys are roommates. I mean, you don't have to be friends. You could be cordial. Let's see what the cards say, though. Oh, Knight of Coins is back. Who is back? So we have the Knight of Coins. I think this is the okay, Seven of Wands, and then the Page of Coins. Mm, I would say yes. Um, I think I will go with what I was kind of saying before. There's nothing stopping you from obviously being cordial. Um, sorry, I'm reading the chat. Yeah, I mean, it just depends what their personal goals are. They don't want to office romance, then they don't want to office romance. So with the Knight of Coins, and the Page of Coins, I feel like there's that foundation where you guys could be good friends. I just think that maybe it won't happen right away with this Seven of Wands here. The Knight of Coins, Page of Coins, I wonder if you guys are maybe a little similar and it might foster a little competition between you guys. So I think as long as you can find commonality between you guys and where the competition might be more like it's more fueling to push forward and not fueling adversity, I guess is a good way to put it, then I think that this could be a really cool friendship. So, Nine of Coins is the practical person that wants to move forward, really is more the planner, has ambitions, and really wants to put their best foot forward. The Page is more of the studious person who really wants to, um, sorry, Luna, come on, really wants to learn about new things, find um, financial opportunities, find just opportunities in general. So they might conflict a little bit, but I think there is room for possibly a really good friendship if you allow it. I think this is more of a warning card almost, where it's saying, like, don't let the similarities foster unnecessary competition amongst you guys. Instead, let it fuel connections and the connections between you guys. But yeah. So yeah, I think you really could be good friends. I think if you're willing to give it a shot, why not? I mean, you guys are already roommates. Worst that can happen is you don't end up friends and you don't continue to be roommates, right? You're welcome. All right, Sab, you are up next. I know you put your question in a while back. If you could like repost it, that would be awesome. So, on caveat, just to let you know, Sab, I don't personally believe people have a true purpose. I feel like people are multifaceted. There's a lot of things that people are meant to do throughout their lives. I don't think that it's not like the Jane Goodall where you're gonna save the monkeys kind of thing. Like, I think that's very rare. So just keep that in mind while I do your reading. That I'm more so looking at it as a holistic thing. Just like to make sure people are on the same page as me, because we kind of all have different perspectives of life, and not all readers are going to mesh up with you, and that's okay. There are certain questions that I just don't like, and there are certain, and I'm sure from you guys' perspective, there are certain things readers do that you don't like, and that's totally fine. And I just want this to be an honest and open forum. So, with that being said, let me pull your cards. Oh, we have Judgment again. Page of Swords, and last one. Okay, here we go. Oh, we have the Nine of Swords back. Okay, so Judgment, Page of Swords, Nine of Swords. I think that a lot of your, I'll call it main purpose, I guess I'll put it, really has to do with seeking knowledge. So this could be someone who's just overall like studious. This could be someone who is a researcher, someone who teaches others as well. But being the page, I feel like it's more of the learning aspect where knowledge is coming to you and not you giving off knowledge. But I think that maybe you really connect with learning about the mind, and mostly to do with like I don't want to say like mental disorders, so to speak, but more so like the stressors of one's mind. So dealing with anxieties, depressions, that kind of thing, more of that aspect. So this could be of like learning about the world of counseling or therapy, psychology, psychiatry, that kind of thing. And I think that ultimately with this judgment card, I think that this is saying like, you know, this is an important path for you for self-discovery and discovering, you know, what it is that you ultimately want out of life. The judgment card is really about that awakening that you have where you start to find clarity in one's own path and where you're going, the direction you're going in life. So I think that this leading into the page is really saying like you start to see that clarity when you feel like you are receiving information, when you're studying, you feel like you're learning, and you really enjoy learning about um, how to handle the world of like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. Sorry. Oof, my shoulders are on fire. Um, I just had to stretch a little bit. But I think that too, this judgment card is saying that maybe you should assess that kind of path. See what that would look like for you. What does the world look like where you go down a path of perhaps maybe studying to become a therapist or a counselor or something like that where you're helping people. This has a very humanitarian feel to me, where you where maybe your research can help make advances in these kinds of fields even. I feel like I'm kind of throwing a lot of ideas, but it all has to stem around that subject. So I feel like as I'm describing stuff, things are going to make sense to you. And a lot of times I think people are already aware. It's just like hearing someone say it out loud makes it like the light bulb go off. Oh yeah. Okay. So you're an academic type. Cool. Yeah, so I think leaning into the side where you're helping people, you have a few different career paths that you can look up in that aspect, and kind of see what exactly fits the best. I don't know this field very well, so I can't really give you much more than the broad, counselor, psychiatrist, therapist kind of thing. I don't know much more deeper than the surface level, unfortunately. But I think you have enough to go on to kind of dive deeper and feel like you have at least some sort of connection with that area of life. All right, Meta, you're up next. And then I will be finishing up with Sil for being my lovely mod tonight. Oh, okay. You're going back to a job next week. Let's see. You're welcome, Seth. Thanks for joining tonight. Let's see what the outcome will be. Oh, the Four of Cups makes a comeback. Oops. Last one. So we have the Four of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and then we have the Tower card. So I don't think that it's going to necessarily work out long term for you, especially with the Tower card. I feel like maybe this is saying that you're not quite at the right spot for what it is you need. Four of Cups kind of also hints at that, and then if you stay down here long enough, it kind of just falls apart. So the Four of Cups is really saying, you're at this job, but there's really no happiness there. You feel like even though you're being presented opportunities, they don't feel right, you don't accept them, or you don't even notice them because they don't even register as being opportunities to you because they just don't connect. Um, and with the Queen of Cups, I think the Queen of Cups is this is like water on water energy. Queens exude that water energy, cups are water energy. So I think that at the core of things, you don't feel like you're in a place where you are nurturing yourself and growing yourself. You don't feel like you are thriving in that environment. And the Queen of Cups is really emotionally in tune and has that maturity to recognize when things are not really working in her favor. So I don't think you're going to be loving this job. I don't think it's going to really help you grow in any kind of way, and you're gonna feel that. And, as you go through, missing opportunities, feeling like you're not growing, it just kinda leads to where everything just the walls come crumbling down around you, metaphorically speaking, of course. So I don't think that the outcome is gonna be positive for this. I will caveat, I'm a girl slinging cards on the internet. Please don't quit your jobs without having other opportunities. Um, but yeah, this is what I'm seeing in the cards. Please make financial and career decisions responsibly, guys. Yeah, the tower can, it's not always all bad, but in response to, an outcome, sometimes it's not the best. Depends what you're looking for. Yeah, if you're just in like a toxic work environment, not n- it's very hard to be motivated. You're so welcome. All right, so you are my last but not least for the night, which is perfect timing because I'm out of water. Oh, okay. Let's see what the rest of the year is looking like. It's so horrible. I am totally like in the same spot as you where the environment just kind of sucks, but the work is kind of cool. Yeah, I totally feel you. Okay, let's see what the rest of the year is going to look like. Ooh, we have the world card. I vaguely recall this being one of the not specialty cards, but like it was like a unique card in this deck, I feel like. Let's see. Why is this not in alphabetical order? So annoying. World card, Shadow Realm, Shadow Work, and Unearthing Your Power. Okay. Feel like the second half of the year is like yep. Shadow work is okay. Let's just see what the tarot says for the rest of the year. So let's see. Put this here. Okay. Oh, and Judgment is back. So Luke is not claiming shadow work. You don't seem to have a choice based off of what your guides are saying, so I don't want to hear it. Um, it seems like even though your overall theme here is like shadow work and like introspection and whatever, I think the theme, like, or the topic of this theme is like in regards to what you want romantically. I'm almost done, Luna. So we have the lovers, we have the two of cups, and then we have judgment. So I feel like this is like you really need to kind of dive in deep with yourself and what it is you want, your needs, your desires, that kind of thing. Unearth maybe what shadows you might be bringing into a relationship, what shadows you can get rid of, not get rid of, but you can face before entering a relationship, that kind of thing, and kind of decide, make that decision on what it is you need to tackle in that regard. But I mean, you have the Lovers card compounded with the Two of Cups. I feel like just these two cards together is really a sign like the second half of the year is really going to be about the romance, the love life, dating, that whole spectrum. Um, at the heart of the reading, we have the Two of Cups. So I wonder if this means that you will kind of find a little bit of a connection by the end of the year. Find that unionship and partnership. Because even with the lovers, again, as you know, we have that air of harmony as well. And then at the end of of the reading, we have the judgment card, where I feel like you know, finding that connection really just opens up things even further and opens you up to Luna. Opens you up to just taking the next step into what will eventually be the world card, finding that accomplishment, feeling like you've made that final step. But I think that overall, if I were to summarize, I think the second half of the year is definitely going to be your you know, your love life year or love life months, I should say. Okay, come on. Guys, don't have cats. But now I want to be all nosy. I think this is a really nice second half of year as well, especially if you did mention earlier in the day that you're kind of like teetering or toying with the idea of opening yourself up to dating again. So I think that this is a really good sign that you should do that. Just, of course, I mean, our group cannot get away from the shadow work, but you're also the shadow work queen. So I feel like you kind of have a handle on that. Right, Luna? Yeah. I saw that Luke. Oh, no, that does not go over there. Yeah, she's like being a chatty catty, right, Luna? Yeah, she has opinions. Yeah, you do. She likes to talk back. All right, let me get off of here. Thank you for modding still. Thanks for hanging out, Luke. We're gonna have to trash talk Steph for not making it. Alrighty. I will see you guys on Discord.